Shalom, shalom. Wisdom Wednesday, man. We're gonna get some wisdom. I want to salute in and say shalom to all those that will watch this video. Hopefully, you'll be edified. Hopefully, you'll be encouraged. The title of this video is "Never Seen the Righteous Forsaken," right? Nor begging for bread. A lot of us we get in that begging spirit when we're in the truth. We feel like we're in the truth and we just feel like once you come in the truth, man, all odds are against us. And you get in that begging spirit, and brothers will hit you up on social media, send you direct messages. Sisters will hit you up on social media, try to scam you sometimes, man. Sometimes they'll ask you for handouts 24/7. And it's good to do charity and alms, but we need to be reminded not to be a beggar, right? Or to live a beggar's life, because that's not a characteristic of the righteous, right? You might be down bad. You might need help. You might have to call on a friend to help lift you up, but don't live a beggar's life. Don't get comfortable, right? Keep the faith. Know that the Most High it's an easy thing for him to, change a poor man's estate, right? And to make a poor man rich. So let's not live a beggar's life. But anyway, never seen the righteous forsaken, right? As I was saying, shalom to all those that'll get on the live. Shout out, shalom to those that took their time to fellowship. Shalom to the cleavers out there. And last but not least, we want to give all honor, praise, and reverence and oblation, obeisance to the Most High God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, who sent his son as an instrument of salvation for the nation of Israel. Without further ado, this is slick a Psalms 37 breakdown. We're not going to go over every single verse. We're going to hit some high points and talk about it. It's going to be a sit down Bible discussion, as you may, right? A sit down Bible discussion, just going over these scriptures, talking about it, making sense of it, right? Nehemiah 8:8 says, hey, look, we read it and we give the sense. So that's what we're going to do, is read it and give the sense. All right, so we're going to start at verse 1. Salakia. Verse 1 says, fret not thyself because of evildoers, right? Neither be thou envious against the workers of iniquity, right? A few weeks ago or a few days ago, I put on my story, right? The Most High God is dealing with sinners and the wicked in such a way that seems backwards, right? The Most High God, sometimes it seems like he's blessing people that don't keep the commandments, that are not believers and that don't have faith. It seems like the wicked always are getting blessed, but that is a snare and a trap, right? The Most High God, if he loves you and he deals with you, the Most High God will a lot of times chastise you. A lot of times he'll test you, he'll tempt you, and sometimes you'll fall and he'll correct you. But for the wicked, man, he's just going to let them, as they say, have enough rope to hang themselves with, right? He's going to keep giving you rope, keep giving you all that, right? You get all that slack, and then one day, you're hanging, right? You're dead, because he's using it as a snare, right? We read in Psalms that he gives them he gives them, paraphrasing roughly, the their pleasures, right? He lets them drink of their pleasures, right? Instead of drinking from the living water. So don't fret because of evildoers, man. Don't be envious against them, right? Don't compare yourself. That's why in the commandments, the Big Ten, it says don't covet, right? Coveting will lead to a lot of people's downfall, right? Think about yourself, your family, your role, and think about your relationship with the Most High God, and you'll be fine, right? Verse 2, right? It says, for they shall soon be cut down like the grass and wither as the green herb, right? Meaning, sometimes that grass looks luscious and beautiful, but it always gets cut down, right? You might see the best lawn in your neighborhood, but that grass always gets cut, right? And some more grass grows up. So it's comparing the wicked like this grass. Even though it looks nice, it's still gonna get cut down, right? It's still gonna wither away, it's still gonna fade away. What they have is temporary here on earth. So don't compare yourself to them, right? We're striving for something eternal, right? I'm gonna go down to verse 11, right? It says, "But the meek shall inherit the earth and shall delight themselves in the abundance of peace," right? I want to say this: the meek shall inherit the earth. A lot of us, we don't have a meek spirit. A lot of us, we don't, deal with every situation in a meek spirit. A lot of us, man, we get beside ourselves. A lot of us, um, we actually do get a little too legalistic, right? A lot of us, we do um, come at things a little aggressively, right? We gotta look after forefathers like Moses and learn from things that he did, right? He was the meekest in all the earth, I believe it says. And when they all came against Moses in the wilderness, Moses bowed down and, he asked for forgiveness and went to the Lord, right? Tried to justify things. He tried to speak up on their behalf. He didn't get proud and puffed up and say, "Hey, I'm the king of Jeshurun. I'm the king on this mountain. Y'all gonna listen to me." He didn't get puffed up like that, right? He was meek. He had conversations, right? He reasoned, right? Even Christ, right? He reasoned in the synagogues with the Jews and the Greeks, right? We got to be able to reason and be peaceable among all men because the meek are going to inherit the earth, man. That new kingdom that's coming, it's going to be ruled by the meek, right? Right. It says, "And shall delight themselves in the abundance of peace." A lot of us, man, we don't like peace. A lot of us, we just want violence. We just want war. We just want conflict. We want drama. And that's partly because of the society we live in. Society we live in pushes that, right? The society that we live in does not like peace, right? But we got to live in the abundance of peace. We got to seek peace. We got to put our shoes of peace on, right? When it comes to dealing with the armor of God. A lot of people forget about that. The shoes of peace, man. You got to walk in peace wherever you go. Brothers and sisters should feel with a sense of peace when you walk in the room. They should get a smile on their face. If they don't, right? If they're rolling their eyes, if they turning their back a little bit, they don't want to, say what's up to you or say hey to you, right? That's a problem, right? You got to work on bringing peace um, wherever you go. So, verse 12 says, "The wicked plotteth against the just and gnasheth upon him with his teeth," right? So, when you're the just, right, you're going to have the wicked plotting against you, whether that be at your job, right? Whether that be old friends, whether that be people that just follow you on social media, they're gonna be plotting against you, man. The closest people gonna be plotting against you. Family members gonna be plotting against you just because you're keeping the commandments, man. Just because you're a just person, just because you are a good person, they're gonna be envious and gnash it upon him with his teeth. They're gonna try to bite you, man. Right? Like a viper, like a snake in the backyard. You could try to keep your grass cut, but just when you don't expect it, that's when they come. So verse 13 says, "The Lord shall laugh at him, for he seeth that his day is coming." So even though they're trying their best, right, the Lord is going to laugh at their calamity. We know the precept, right? The Lord is going to laugh at their calamity and their day of judgment, right? Let me see. "The wicked have drawn out the sword and have bent their bow to cast down the poor and needy and to slay such as conver- be of upright conversation," right? That's why, man, a lot of times, even when you just, have upright conversation and you shun vain babblings and lewdness and perverseness. A lot of brothers and sisters, man, especially in the truth too, they don't want to be around you, man, because they know that you're gonna say the right thing all the time. They know that you're not gonna entertain folly. right? And they'll bend that bow against you, man, and try to make it seem like you're wicked, right? Um, Over here at the Hopeful Let Man, we've experienced that. We've experienced that, hanging out with all different type of brothers. You get the different vibes, but the righteous has to stand up and do what's called of us, right? It says their soul shall enter into their own heart and their bows shall be broken. Meaning what goes around comes around. When we look at Galatians chapter 6, man, we don't believe in karma, but we do believe that whatever you sow into this world, you're going to reap that, right? Knowing if we sow good seed, we're going to reap the harvest. But if you sow bad seed, God is not mocked, right? It's going to come back and bite you in the butt, right? And we've seen that too in the truth. All right. So it doesn't matter if you're in the world or in the truth. All this stuff applies. Really, it applies to the truth because we're the ones that can read this and understand it. Right. Let's go to verse 25. It says, I have been young and now am old, yet have I not seen the righteous forsaken, nor his seed begging bread. Right. When you look at our forefathers and our foremothers, when they were down bad, they didn't turn into beggars, right? They fasted and prayed. They actually afflicted themselves worse, right? They got thrown into prison. They fasted, right? They made their situations worse, and the Most High God heard them. So when it says "nor his seed begging for bread," it doesn't mean that you're not going to be chastised. It doesn't mean that you're not going to change to a lower state. But we're not beggars. We're not gonna. It doesn't. The scriptures tell us don't live a beggar's lifestyle, right? That's not what the righteous do, because the righteous are never forsaken. And we got to have that faith, even when we're at our lowest state. We have to know the Most High God's not going to leave us, right? Look at Joseph. Joseph was in the prison. His brothers threw him in a pit. He was sold and shipped, right, away from his family, but he was not forsaken, right? David, even when people turned on him at Ziklag, right, and people wanted to overthrow him, and after all the stuff he did, they just had amnesia and forgot about it. And what did David do? He didn't start begging for their he didn't start begging for them to give him a chance. He just got the ephod and said a prayer, and he went and won. Right? You got to know that the Most High God's on your side, right? Um, Look at the three Hebrew boys, the three Hebrew children, right? And Daniel, even though they were in captivity and they knew they weren't forsaken, they were ready to go into that fiery furnace. They were ready to go into that lion's den, right? You don't have to beg a king for your life. You don't have to beg anybody. They said, "Hey, look, we serve God, and we know He's capable of bringing us out of this. He's capable of salvation. But even if not, we're willing to die for Him, right? You're not supposed to live a beggar's life. So his seed, Jacob, the Israelites, we don't beg, right? A lot of us in that time, because we lack faith, right? When as they say, all hell breaks loose, right? When chaos and madness in Second Ezra 15, Second Ezra 16, Matthew 24, Luke 14, Luke 21, I believe. When all these things come to pass, guess what? You can't be a beggar. It is what it is. You saw this stuff coming, but you got to also know that the righteous is not forsaken, right? Verse 26, he is ever merciful and lendeth, and his seed is blessed, right? Our seed is blessed, right? Let's go to verse 7. Depart from evil and do good and dwell forevermore, right? So this is how you be righteous, right? This is how you be of that number that says, I've not seen the righteous forsaken. This is how you make sure you're not forsaken. You got to depart from evil. A lot of us, we don't depart from evil all the way, right? We still idolize things of the world, things that this world's put before us, whether that be things that we enjoy. We still idolize a lot of stuff that's evil, right? It says, and do good, right? It's not enough just to keep the commandments and not break the law. Man, make some efforts to actually do good, to actually change somebody else's life, to actually benefit the kingdom, right? Do good, dwell forevermore. It says, for the Lord loveth judgment So if the Lord loves judgment, you got to love judgment. A lot of us, we shy away from judgment. We don't want to get cast judgment. We think, oh, they don't need my opinion, X, Y, and Z. But the Lord loveth judgment, right? We got to get back to a nation of judges, because right now we're too far gone and we're doing what we want to do. We we make up we give ourselves too many alibis to to uh to coddle our emotions, right? Men and women, we tend to our emotions so much to where we, when we're in the thick of it and our emotions are high, we twist these scriptures up just to make it make sense, right? And then the ones around us, we don't have the ones around us to be as austere, right? To lead us in the right path. So then we all just keep going off and keep, right? That's a shot to the, the elders that call themselves being over us, to your friends, to your family, right? We got to stop being so soft with each other, right? We got to understand that getting to the kingdom, right, is something very serious. It doesn't take time. David said, I make haste and delay not to turn to thy testimonies, right? That's how we got to be. It says, they are preserved forevermore, but the seed of the wicked shall be cut off, right? Let's go to verse 30. 30 says, the mouth of the righteous speaketh wisdom, and his tongue talketh of judgment. So if you don't want to be forsaken, if you want to, he never saw the righteous forsaken. So if you want to be counted in that, this is how you do it. You got to speak wisdom, right? A lot of us, we speak a lot of folly, right? A lot of us, we don't try to say anything profound, right? Even to, throughout your day, to other nations, man, try to say something profound and wise so that they can look at you and be like, hey, that sister, that brother is different, right? That brother, that sister is special, right? We got to show out for the Most High, man. A lot of us, we used to show out for our coach, right? We used to show out for our favorite teacher. We used to show out for our parents. We used to show out, you know what I'm saying, for all these worldly things, but we got to show out for the Most High God and represent Him well. And we have to speak wisdom, right? In Deuteronomy, He tell us that, right, our nation was going to be known for our wisdom. So we got to stop listening to um, so much folly, because that's where I believe the wisdom has disappeared, or the wisdom has been taken from us, is listening to a lot of trash music, a lot of reality TV. There's no wisdom in our tongue anymore. It's all emotion, and it's all what's cool and what's in and what's trendy, right? Now, there's a lot of fake wisdom out there. We see a lot of these podcasts and a lot of regurgitated statements in different ways. But the real wisdom is the wisdom of this Bible, right? A lot of us, we want to give wisdom and claim it to be ours when we know we got it from the Bible. Start putting the Bible on, right? When I'm out and about, even when I'm at work, and say something and they're like, dang, that's crazy, or dang, that is smart, dang, that is true. And I couple it with saying, got it from the Bible for real. Yeah, really, that's in the Bible, right? You got to always point people back to the word, right? The word of God, right? So speak wisdom, and his tongue talketh of judgment. Man, a lot of us, man, we got to give that judgment. Sometimes it's hard to give that judgment, but at the end of the day, you're going to feel good when you go to sleep and you said the right thing and you didn't coddle somebody's emotions, right? So shalom and salute to all the brothers and sisters that do that, right? Because it's not an easy thing, right? To give counsel like Ahithophel. It's not an easy thing to give counsel like Hushai. It's not an easy thing to give counsel like Nathan. It's not an easy thing to give counsel um, Dan, right? It's not and all these prophets that went before these kings, right? It's not an easy thing to do that, right? So yeah, man, keep that judgment. Um, verse 31, it says, the law of God is in his heart. None of his steps shall slide, right? So if the law of God is in your heart, right, you're gonna always think like David, right? What's gonna please the Most High God, right? The law is always gonna be in your mind, is what this is saying. And you're always going to have a mind of Christ, a mind of God, a mind for His Word. So you're not gonna go away. You're not gonna go astray. None of your steps are gonna be misguided because you're gonna always constantly be thinking about it, right? When we were in the world and we were trying to get into our careers, or we had a hobby that we love, maybe sports or something, our mind was always on it. When we woke up, it was on it, right? Middle of the day, it was on it. When we would work out, if you was trying to be in sports and eat healthy for that sport, right? If you was trying to get a career that you loved, you was studying and watching YouTube videos and trying to understand things better and spending more time. And look, your mind was always on it. So just like that, your mind has to always be on this law of God, and you're not going to go astray if that happens, right? Um, but Khan, man, this is a good chapter, right? Right, this is a good chapter. You should go back and read the whole thing. I know we skipped over just some high points, right? Um, but I just wanted to get on here to encourage those and let you guys know, man, the righteous won't be forsaken, but you got to know how to be righteous as well, right? But with that, hope you guys got some wisdom. Hope you guys were encouraged. Another Wisdom Wednesday, uh, quick and powerful, like a two-edged sword, like the Word of God. Shalom, the hopeful elect will be back on at another date, another time, Lord willing. Hope you were edified. Shalom.